live, and you are looking live. It's sold out. Yale Bowl. Remember, the Giants played their home games at the Yale Bowl in 1973 and 1974. So you are looking live at the sold-out Yale Bowl, where today the 16-0 and playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in there. Plus, sometimes I just go rambling on and on and on. Sometimes. So sometimes it's nice just to talk to somebody, right? So please feel free, fire away. Before we get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the top link, okay, and in the description box takes you to my membership page, okay? I got 3 different membership levels, all right? The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level I call has got the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if anybody wants to help support me and my channel out, help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But as I said, if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, all right, also in the description box below, there's 2 Facebook links, okay? The first one, the top one, takes you to my Facebook. It's a group, okay? It's called the New York Giants. It's a Gridiron, but it's a group, okay? Right now, we have over 2,800 members in the group right now. And this is like a 7-day a week thing. Every day. Okay, I'm putting stuff in the group, okay? But if you become a member, okay, not only do I put stuff in the group, but the members put stuff in there too. I try to get, if I can, I mean, it's sometimes a little difficult in the off season, maybe not a lot going on at all, but I try to get, if I can, like up to 10 things in here every day, whether it's a video, a post, a picture, or something, something making fun of the Eagles, something making fun of the Cowboys, whatever I can do to get in there, okay? I try to get that in there. And also then the second link in the description box, okay, takes you to my Facebook page, okay? Once again, it's called the New York Giants Gridiron. It's a page, though. Basically, my YouTube channel, Facebook group, Facebook page is all pretty much called the New York Giants Gridiron. That way, a moron like me, I can even remember that. I don't have to start, well, what's my page called? What's the group called? It's all called pretty much the same, right? But with the page, I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one who posts in there. But right now, we have 916 people who like it, and there's over 3,700 people who are following. And it's the same thing. It's 7 days a week. I put stuff in there all the time. I don't commingle them. So basically, whatever, posts and pictures and all, for the most part, whatever I put in the page, I don't put in the group. And vice versa. But if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it and you go to the group and you become a member, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. And like I say in every video, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back. All that stuff said and done, all that away with. Now, the greatest picks in the history of the New York Football Giants. Now, we're not going, I'm not, this is not, Lawrence Taylor. This is not, 1951 Kyle Rote, who's an All-American at SMU. So we got an All-American, so let's take him. He winds up being a good football. This is not 1952. We got Frank Gifford in the first round, who winds up being a Hall of Fame. It's not, Michael Strahan in the second round. It's not, we got Tiki Barber in the second round. No, there's none of that stuff. Right? Carl Banks, 84 in the first round. Hey, you wind up being a pretty good pick. No, there's none of that. These are all later, late round picks, okay? And pretty much for the most part, all right, they're all picks. Pretty much most of them like way past 100, but like picks 100 on back, okay? So like we got somebody, okay, that's it. I'm gonna pop them up here. Whoops. Jimmy Patton, okay, now I'm going to give you an example here, okay? Also somebody who, pretty much I'm not going to want to take in, okay? Jimmy Patton wanted to play in 12 seasons for the Giants, who drafted him in 1955, okay? He was very, very good. Let's see. We got him in the 8th round, but he was only because he was back in 1955, there was only 12 teams, all right? So in the 8th round, he was only this 92nd pick taken. You figure nowadays we're in the 8th, and we don't have 8 rounds. But if we had 8 rounds, it would be like around like 250, right? But that's not the case. I mean, so for him in the 8th round, okay, Jimmy Patton, we took him in 1955. He played 12 seasons for the Giants. He was a very, very good pick, okay? He played 153 games. I know he led the league in interceptions one year. He was a All-Pro, Pro Bowl, and All-Pro, and went to the Pro Bowl 5 years in a row, 1958 to 1962. Right, very, very good, solid pick. In 1958, he led the league with 11 interceptions. He finished his career with 52 career interceptions. Okay, so he's up there in the all-time list. Okay, Jimmy Patton, as far as interceptions, okay, in NFL history, all right, but he was very, very good pick. But as I said, my list does not include like him because it wasn't even picked 100 in the draft, okay, but he was taken in the 8th round. But so a lot of my picks are like 8th round, 8th, 9th, 10th round, whatever, and on back. But my criteria for this particular video, right? They had to be a pick at least 100 and back, okay, for them to make this list. All right, so we start off with, I mean, the Giants, back, it was far, far, far from an exact science, and it really isn't. I mean, it's tough. We're getting better and better at picking guys. Obviously nowadays, unlike when they first started drafting in 1936. Okay. So, I mean, things have gotten a lot better, but, it's still kind of not an exact science. But we go back to 1947. Okay. The Giants drafted, I think this is the only time they drafted 2 Hall of Famers in one draft class. Okay. 1947. All right. And they were late round picks. Tom Landry, we picked Tom Landry, okay, in the 20th round. Okay, he was picked 184. Okay. He played from 1947 to 1955. Actually, for the last couple of seasons he actually played, he was a player coach. Okay, he was on the defense. Okay. What did he have? Let's see, career interceptions. He only had 7 career interceptions. Okay, but he played on the defense, but he was a very, very intelligent, okay, player. The Giants had picked him in the 20th round of the 1947 draft. He's in the Hall of Fame, but basically not for being a player for the Giants. Actually, he wound up being the Giants defensive coordinator from 1956, I believe it was, until 1959, because in 1960 he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, where he was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys for the next 29 years, from 1960 to 1988. Right, basically that's why he's in the Hall of Fame, because he took the Cowboys to 5 Super Bowls, all in the 70s. Okay, they won 2 and lost 3, but that's where he basically became a Hall of Famer. It was from his coaching career. It wasn't from being with the Giants. But regardless, the Giants drafted Tom Landry in the 20th round, the 1947 draft. Now, that also in that same draft, in the 22nd round, pick 204, they picked Art Donovan. Okay, he never wound up playing for the Giants. Okay, but he wound up being a Hall of Famer. He wound up being a Hall of Famer. He was a defensive tackle, very, very good defensive tackle. Okay, but he's mostly known for being with the Baltimore Colts. Okay, I mean he was with a bunch of teams. Let's see. He was 1950. He was the Baltimore Colts, and then they kind of like disbanded. And then he went to the New York Yanks in 1951. 1952, he became the Dallas Texans. They disbanded, and they became back. They went back to the Baltimore Colts once again. Okay, he was in the. He won 2 championships with the Colts in 1958 and 59. They both times they beat the Giants. 23-17 in 1958. Then they won 31-16 in 1959. He went to the Pro Bowl 5 years in a row. And he was an all-pro 4 times, but he's in the Hall of Fame. Okay, he played until 1961 at the age of 37. All right, but a very, very good defensive tackle. Okay, he's in the Hall of Fame. So in the 22nd round, the 1947 draft, the New York Giants drafted a Hall of Famer. Unfortunately, he never wound up playing for the Giants. Oh my God, that's a little bit of a theme here. Okay, 1950. Okay, they drafted a guy named Ray Whitehecker in the 12th round, pick number 150. Now he's nothing super duper amazingly fantastic, but he had himself a very, very nice career. Okay, Ray Whitehecker. He was the center for the New York Giants. And actually, in 1950, he was the Giants linebacker. He started playing in 1953. Okay. He played from 53 to 62. He played 10 seasons for the Giants. He never missed a game in 10 seasons for the Giants. The first season in 1953 he played. He got drafted in 1950 draft, okay, in the 12th round. But he didn't start playing until 1953. He was the right side linebacker in 1953. Okay, 1954 they converted him to a center. So 54 to 62. Okay, he played center. He never missed a game, and he had 124 career games. He played in every one. Only 2 of the games he didn't start. At 2 games in his rookie season, he didn't start, but he played in every game. But from 1954 to 1962, 9 straight seasons, he played in and started every game. That's freaking amazing, especially nowadays if you consider some of the injuries. After he retired, 1963, 1964, he became the offensive line coach of the Los Angeles Rams. Then he went to he became the offensive coordinator for Vince Lombardi from 1965 to 1970. Obviously, Vince Lombardi wasn't their head coach in 68, 69, and 70. But the first 3 seasons, 1965, 66, and 67, Vince Lombardi was the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and Ray Whitehecker was their offensive coordinator. But also those 3 seasons, 65, 66, 67, Ray Whitehecker and the Packers, they wound up winning the NFL championship. And also in 66 and 67, they won the first 2 Super Bowls. So Ray Whitehecker with the Giants went to 5 championship games, 56, 58, 59, 61, and 62. With the 5 championship games with the Giants, they won one, the one in 1956. Then in 1965, with the Packers, 66, 67, as their offensive coordinator, they won 3 championships. Okay. Then he won 2 Super Bowls. All right. So, he went to 4 Pro Bowls. Okay. So he was a very good coach. Then also from 1972 to 76, he became the Giants offensive line coach. Okay. So he had a long career, right, in the NFL, and he had a rather long career with the Giants as well, but a very, very, very good, solid pick. Ray Whitehecker, okay, our center. Okay, we drafted him in the 12th round in the 1950 NFL draft. Just a good, solid pick. All right, I'm going to give you my number 1 overall. Okay, but I'm going to hold off. None of these guys are in any particular order. Okay, I'm just going to give you I'll give you my number 1 guy. This is by far and away the number 1 overall pick. Okay, it'd be my last pick that I go over. Okay, 1957. Okay, we got there's a little theme we got going on here. In 1957, another solid pick the Giants had. Who only played 1 season for the Giants, wound up becoming a Hall of Famer with in the 9th round. We took Don Maynard, wide receiver, and they called him. He with the 109th pick. Okay, drafted him in the 57 draft. He played 1 season for the Giants in 58. 1959, he played in the Canadian Football League. Then 1960, from 1960 to 72, he played with the New York Titans / New York Jets. The first 2 or 3 years in their existence, the Jets were called the Titans. All right, then they changed their name. It's 63, I think they changed their name. It was to the Jets. Then he played his final season was in 1973. He played like 2 games with the Cardinals, I believe it was, caught 1 pass. But basically, he was a Hall of Famer. All right. So the Giants drafted a Hall of Famer in the 9th round, pick 109, Don Maynard in the 1957 draft. And he only played one season for the Giants. But he was a very, very good pick. The Giants certainly could have used his talent, but for whatever reason, they I don't know, whatever reason it was, they didn't see it. I don't know. But the Giants certainly could have used his services. Then, in 1963, we had two late, very, very, very good picks. Okay, one of the guys never played for the Giants. All right, we drafted Buck Buchanan in the 19th round, pick 265. Okay, in the 1963 draft, the Giants drafted Buck Buchanan, who wound up becoming a Hall of Famer. Okay, he never wound up playing for the Giants. He instead, in 63, he started his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, he played for the Chiefs from 1963 to 1975. He played in 182 career games. Monstrous, freaking huge human being. Was he 6'8"? 6'7", 6'7", 270 pounds. Huge human being. Very big. I mean, only 270, but I mean, still big. But he's tall, mean, strong. Yeah, he's a tough dude. Tough dude. All right, so we drafted Buck Buchanan in the 1963 draft. It was a Hall of Famer, round 19, pick number 265. So we drafted a Hall of Famer once again. He never wound up playing for the Giants. But in the 20th round, the 1963 draft, pick number 278, we took some guy named Homer Jones, okay, out of Texas Southern. He wound up playing the Giants from 1963 to 1969. Okay, we traded him to the Cleveland Browns after in 1970. He played one season, and he had injuries, like knee injuries, I think it was. So he only played one season with the Browns. All right, but I mean, he was phenomenal. He led the league in touchdown receptions in 1967 with 13. What's his yards? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times he averaged over 20 yards of receptions. In 1964, 65, 66, 67, and 68. 1966, he averaged 27.3 yards of reception. He caught 26 passes for 709 yards, 6 touchdowns. 27.3 yards of reception. Phenomenal pick. He didn't have a real lengthy career. I mean, what, 1, 2, 3. He only played 6 seasons with the Giants, okay? But he had 214 catches with the Giants, averaged 22.6 yards of reception, and 35 touchdown receptions. Okay, so he was a home run hitter. Right, just try to get the ball in his hands, and he could take it to the house. As I said, he got traded to the Browns. Okay, in 1970, he only played one season for the Browns. But if you ever get to ask that Trivial Pursuit question, who returned the first kickoff for a touchdown in Monday Night Football history? It was Homer Jones. The first Monday Night Football game ever. He returned the second half kickoff back against the New York Jets back for a touchdown when he was playing for the Cleveland Browns. So in 1963, the Giants had 2 phenomenally good late picks. Okay, picks. I mean, one was 265, and the other one was picked 278. I mean, absolute home runs, phenomenal picks. Okay, then we go to 1965. Okay, one of the all-time great Giants, especially when I was growing up. Okay, 1965 in the 13th round. Okay, pick 169. We took Spider Lockhart, who had a nice long career, 11-year career with the Giants. What the heck did he wind up with? He wound up with 41 career interceptions. Okay, very, very good. He wasn't like a, where did he go? He was an All-Pro 2 times. Okay, I mean, he would get beat quite a bit and all of that, but he was with the Giants, and he didn't miss a lot of time. He'd always play. He's just a good, solid pick. He played from 1965 to 1975, 11 seasons with the Giants. As I said, he had 41 career interceptions. He ran 3 of them back for touchdowns. He recovered 16 fumbles. Just a good overall solid pick. Him and Willie Williams were the safeties. I mean, very, very good, long career with the Giants. His whole career was with the Giants. It was a very, very good pick that the Giants had. Once again, a late round pick, Spider Lockhart, 1965 draft in the 13th round. Okay. Then we go to the 1973 draft. Okay, and then there was some good picks here and there and all that and everything, but I'm looking at late round picks. Okay, we picked Brian Kelly. Okay, in the the 14th round, pick number 353. Okay, in the 14th round, the 1973 draft from California Lutheran, Brian Kelly. He was part of the Crunch Bunch, right? When we got Lawrence Taylor. From 1981 to 1983, we had Brad Van Pelt, Brian Kelly, Harry Carson, and Lawrence Taylor, the Crunch Bunch. Those 3 seasons, they were phenomenal. They had maybe the best, or if not the best, one of the best linebacking groups in all of football. So Brian Kelly, very good, solid pick. I mean, as I said, he was with the Giants for 11 seasons. I know where did he go after that? He played like 1 or 2 seasons. What was it, with the freaking Browns or the Raiders? I clicked the wrong thing. I know he didn't finish his career. I think he. Let me click on this here. See if it takes me to the right page. I know he finished his career with another team. I think. Oh no. I think he tried out for another team or something, but didn't want to make it. But he played his whole career, his 11-year career with the New York Giants. He wound up with 11 fumble recoveries. He had 15 interceptions. Okay, he played. He did get a couple years. He did get injured, but I mean, he played a lot because the Giants' offense stunk. So he was on the field a lot. But I mean, it's not only so much. It was the 14th round. He was picked number 353 in an 11-year career with the Giants. A very good, just a solid linebacker. Okay, as I said, he was part of the Giants' Crunch Bunch. With Brad Van Pelt, Brian Kelly, Harry Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. All right, so very good pick in the 1973 draft. Then we go to the 1975 draft, okay? And we have Mr. Giant here himself, pretty much, George Martin. Took him in the 11th round, pick number 262 out of Oregon, okay? He played, once again, his entire career from 1975 to 1988 with the Giants, okay? I know at the time he retired, I'm not sure if it's been broken or not, but I know he had the all-time record, okay, for touchdown. He wound up with, he had 5. I know I could swear he had at least 6 touchdowns. Because I think one of them he got lateral too. He ran 3 interceptions back for touchdowns. He ran 2 fumble recoveries back for touchdowns. But there was another one. I'm almost positive somebody recovered a fumble or something like that and lateraled it to him, and he ran it back. I think when he retired, he had like 6 touchdowns, which was, it's either tied the NFL record for like defensive linemen, I think it was, or he set the record. I don't know if it's been broken since. That I'm not sure, but I know when he retired after 88, he had the record, either tied the record or had the record for most touchdowns returned by a defensive lineman. Okay, but from 1975 to 1988, I mean, a long career with the New York Giants. I mean, was that 14 seasons? I mean, my God, he played a lot. He played 201 games for the Giants. The last game of his career was in 1988 when we lost to the Jets. Got knocked out of the playoffs. Tough game, but solid pick. George Martin in the 11th round. I mean, of the 1975 NFL draft. Okay, then I said there was a bunch of nice picks we had here and there, and all. But I'm gonna skip on up here. I got 3 more guys. Okay, we got to go up to the 1993 draft, okay, to get your late round pick. Now, obviously, in the 1993 draft, we had Michael Strahan was in the 2nd pick overall. Didn't have the 1st round pick because we gave a supplemental draft pick, and we got a 1st round pick we gave up in 1993 because we got Dave Brown in the supplemental draft in 1992. He was a starting quarterback from Duke. He had a long career, but he wasn't a starting quarterback. But anyway, mistakes happen. But Jesse Armstead, we took him in the 8th round from the U, right? Pick number 207 in the 8th round. Jesse Armstead, a phenomenal 8th round pick. What an absolute stud! What an absolute freaking steal we got in the 8th round. Okay. Didn't want to play in his whole career. Unfortunately, his last 2 seasons he wound up playing with the Washington Redskins at the time. But from 1993 to 2001, he was a Giant. 1, 2, 3, went to 5 straight. He He went to 5 straight Pro Bowls, and he was an All-Pro in the 1997 season. Okay, he wound up with 12 interceptions for the Giants. What do we got? He recovered 5 fumbles for the Giants. Right? He had 30 and a half career sacks. But just a phenomenal, really, really good pick for the New York Giants in the 8th round of the 1993 draft. Then, of course, we go up to, I got 2 more guys here. All right. We go up to the 2007. Okay. Now, it wound up being our, we had 2 7th round picks. Okay. So this is not our first, okay, pick in the 7th round of the 2007 draft, but it's our 2nd pick in the 7th. Ahmad Bradshaw, pick number 250 in the round 7 of the 2007 draft. Ahmad Bradshaw, very, very good, phenomenal. It's good, solid, he got him from Marshall, right? Didn't expect maybe a whole heck of a lot from him in the 7th round, right? We had Derek Ward and we had Brandon Jacobs, but I'll tell you what, you put Bradshaw, Jacobs, and Ward. Holy cow, what a trio of backs we had. My goodness. Of course, after 2012, he left and he played his final 3 seasons with the Colts. Okay. But, just a good, solid running back. 2 times he got over 1,000 yards for the Giants, 2010 and 2012. He ran it for over 1,000 yards. He averaged, 2007, he averaged 8.3 yards a carry. 2008, 5.3 yards a carry. 2009, 4.8, 4.5 in 2010. 2012, he averaged 4.6. He averaged, very good, high average. It's just that between the running backs that we had, he didn't always get a lot of carries. It is what it is. But he was a good change of pace back. Good, solid pick. What do they have receiving? Receptions. Where the heck we had receptions? 2010, he had 47 receptions. 2011, the Super Bowl season, he had 34 receptions. Just a good pick. So he could catch the ball, run the ball. He had that kind of like that odd hop to him, the way he ran the ball and all and everything. But just a very, very good, solid pick for the New York Giants in the 2007 draft. In the 7th round, pick number 250, Ahmad Bradshaw. What a great, great pick. Okay, so then we got the number 1 guy overall. Okay, the number 1 late round pick, the greatest pick. Basically, I'm just going to say because, it's easy to pick, Lawrence Taylor. Hey, the guy's pretty good. You might want to pick him. Oh, okay. Yeah, he winds up being all the thing. Hey, let's take Michael Strahan. Let's take him in the front. He's pretty good. Oh, okay. Now, this guy, nobody knows anything about him. We got this guy in the 27th round, pick number 322 of the 1953 draft. Bar none, the greatest offensive lineman the Giants have ever had, Roosevelt Brown. The guy was built like a Greek statue. I forgot, he had a 28 or a 30-inch waist. The guy was just like, he played from 1953 to 1965. But if you were he was 6'3", 255 pounds. But if you were gonna chisel somebody like out of stone or something, like make him look like a Greek god, and he was 6'3", 255 pounds, this would be the guy. Roosevelt Brown, absolutely phenomenal pick. He was with the Giants. I said he played from 53 to 65. Okay. Then after that, let's see here. I know he was with the Giants. He was coaching in March of 66. Brown was hospitalized with phlebitis, calling it in doubt his ability to continue playing his career. Brown participated in the Giants summer camp, but on August 23rd, 1966, he announced his retirement as a player. But then the Giants announced at the same time that the team had hired Brown as an assistant coach. Okay, so he was with the Giants from 53 to 65 as a player. He became the Giants' assistant offensive line coach and was promoted to offensive line coach in 1969. He later worked as the scout for the Giants. As a player, a coach and a scout. His career with the New York Giants spanned more than 50 years. 50 years. Okay. Not only he's in the Hall of Fame. Okay. He's in the Giants Ring of Honor. Okay. This is some of his career highlights. He played in 6 NFL championship games, 56, 58, 59, 61, 62, 63. The only one we won was in 1956 at Yankee Stadium. Beat the Bears 47-7. But this is some of his accomplishments. He was an NFL champion in 1956, which I just said. They beat the Bears. He was a 6-time first-team All-Pro. Okay. 3-time second-team All-Pro. He was a 9-time Pro Bowler. He was on the 1950s All-Decade team. He's in the NFL's 75th anniversary all-time team. He's on the NFL's 100th anniversary all-time team, and he's in the New York Giants Ring of Honor. He played in 163 career games. Just absolutely phenomenal pick. I mean, to say he's like he was a steal in the 27th round, the greatest pick, late round pick ever for the New York Giants. May not be quite maybe the best player ever for the New York Giants, but as far as value, pick, all that and everything, Roosevelt Brown, the 27th round of the 1953 draft, by far and away the greatest as far as value with the draft pick and all that and everything, the greatest pick in Giants history. Bar none, even better than Lawrence Taylor, because Lawrence Taylor got picked in the first round, right? You expected great things from him, right? I just wanted one story just to kind of tell you how good Roosevelt Brown was, okay? And this came from Frank Gifford, okay, who we drafted in the first round, from USC, 1952 draft, who's a Hall of Famer and all that and everything. But I don't know what year it was or who they were playing or whatever, but one time Frank Gifford said something like, Roosevelt Brown was their tackle, right? So he got the ball and he started going. I guess maybe it was a sweep going to Roosevelt Brown's side. So Frank Gifford's got the ball. So he, as anticipated, Roosevelt Brown maybe had put a block on somebody. Okay, took somebody out of the play. Frank continued on his way. So he's running down the field. And he's looking, it's like nobody around. So he's like running. So then he starts noticing like somebody starts catching up to him. So he's like, oh man, somebody's getting ready to tackle me, right? So he's running. So he's running fast. Oh man, I gotta beat this guy. So the guy behind him catches up to him. And he's like running. So he turns and he looks, and it's Roosevelt Brown. It's not like they lay a block on him. Frank ran past him. He's running down the field, and Roosevelt Brown catches. It's our halfback, right? Our tackle catches up to our halfback and is getting ready to block somebody else for him and all. That just goes to show you what kind of athlete Roosevelt Brown was. And, a true giant among men. 50 years in the organization. Absolutely phenomenal. By far and away, the best draft pick the New York Giants have ever had. Roosevelt Brown, 27th round. 1953 NFL draft. He's a Hall of Famer. Well, guys, it's been 33 minutes. Anybody spent any time here listening to me? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.